light of lamp. Please play the video.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसञ्ज्योतिर्नमो शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणाय.
Thank you, ma'am. As we continue, allow me to introduce our esteemed guest speaker, Tanuj Varshney, founder and director of Urban Pulse Innovation. Is there any technical glitches? Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible, sir. Yeah. Please continue.
Yeah. Tanuj Varshney, founder and director of Urban Pulse Innovations, is a dynamic entrepreneur and proud alumnus of DSPSR 2015 batch. His journey began with the Green Amrit, Delhi's first hydroponic brand, which was acquired by Ayurved. He earned an MBA in International Business and Innovation from the University of Greenwich, London, gaining global exposure and resilience. In 2024, he launched Pick and Treat, a fast sustainability app, and Breakbro, student-first platform that rapidly grew to 10,000 plus users. Tanu's leadership mantra, embracing discomfort and solving overlooked problem-driven, his mission to create impact through innovations. Our second speaker, moderator, Ms. Prachi Garg. We are pleased to welcome you, ma'am. You are as a tech lead at Urban Pulse Innovation Private Limited, currently leading the development of the Brockbrook platform. Ms. Garg began her journey as trainee with the Pick and Treat, and through consistent diligence, ownership, and timely delivery has risen to become a key pillar of the tech team. We are welcome you in this session. Now, I will hand over the session to Ms. Prachi Garg, ma'am. Please.
Hello everyone, I'm Prachi and I'm very excited to join you all today. So, just a brief introduction about myself. I'm currently working as a tech lead in ProGrow, and we are trying to generate a platform for students where we provide every student discount on their tuition fees and Am I audible? Hello,
Yes,
can you
you
hear?
are, yes, you are audible.
Hello everyone, so I'm
Can
Prachi.
you unmute your video?
Sorry?
Can you unmute your video, please, ma'am?
Okay, you want me to turn on my video?
Yeah.
Just give me a second, please. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, hi everyone, and I'm Prachi. I'm currently the tech lead of BrokeBro. And this is a project that we started to help students. We basically wanted to provide student discounts and trying to build new platform for students where, because we understand that as students how difficult it is to manage your expenses as well as your education. So we wanted to do something for the entire student part. Also, I started my journey as a trainee with Pick and Treat, but then I learned, I grew, and Kanu sir helped me to explore a lot new options, which made me grow as a tech lead. So I'm very excited to share my journey with you all today. But first, I would like Kanu sir to start this.
Hello, everyone. I think so. There's a lot being said about me. I'm just a normal human being participating an alumni from DSPSR. I've studied a lot and I started my journey with Pick and Treat and today with Bro Bro. I think so that there are a lot of questions which are running around this entire project and what we've been doing, how we've been doing, how an entrepreneur's life works around. So I'm open to all questions, and I think so it should be a more of an interactive session rather than me talking about myself. So I'm open to any kind of questions. Anyone, any kind of questions about anything.
So, what motivated you and inspired you to start this entire project?
Um, Well, we started a couple of projects. I came back over here. I came back to India. I was very happy living a good life in London. I came back over here when one of my Italian employers came around and said that you come from a third world country and you never understand what first world country problems are. So that triggered to my head in such a bad manner that I wanted to ensure that I can prove that India can together, once collaborated, can become a very well first world country. So that was the beginning of everything in respect to all the projects which we've started. The first thing was Pick and Treat. India is the first problem which we are looking into today is food. बहुत पुरानी कहावत है हमारे भारत में बोलते हैं रोटी कपड़ा और मकान. So that was the first thing which initiated this entire project was how can we provide food to everyone, and Pick and Treat was a birth child of that initiative through which we were working vigorously to help a lot of students, a lot of people so that they can get food. We've in this particular year we have fed more than 60,000 people. I think so, which is the number which we are looking around. We start with a small initiative that we're going to feed about 100 people a day, but today we've reached to a level in which I think so that mark has been crossed way far along.
If I may ask, so since you are from DSPSR, I would really like to know that what shaped your mind and how being in this college helped you to grow as a person and as an individual.
I mean, to understand the mindset of the Indian demographics and the Indian economics, I think so. DSPSR was one of the most crucial guides for me. I mean, one of few of the people who actually helped me throughout my entire journey are over here. Dr. Mukta Katyal, Dr. R.S. Singh sir, then Seema Singh ma'am. All these people have collaboratively given us that initiative to actually learn a lot more than what we can provide to others. So this journey is because of these people. We took part, we took initiative to learn the Indian demographics, the Indian economics, and then what I learned within my studies abroad. I think so. We collaborated both of them, and then we brought down everything over here.
Hi, Tanuj. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, one question I want to ask that what kind of problem or challenges you did face at the initial level? is this only financial challenges that you did faced and you cope up this kind of problem and you move ahead, or other kind of problems that you also want to mention in this platform, in this session?
Well, I mean, the most important problem which we are struggling, which everyone is facing today, is financial problems, as we mentioned. But considering what our government is doing today, I think so that was one of the biggest help which I got. Startup India, Invest India were two big portals through which I got a lot of appreciation and a lot of effort through which I could have put in. Startup India was one of the most important ones because they provided me the entire path and the entire guidance and entire channel through which I was able to actually run down the entire show. I used to go to a lot of ministries just without any appointments, just to see what their responses are, and the responses were spectacular. I still remember my first interview with Miss Aarti Rishi. She's the head of Invest India. It was just over an email, and she was like, "You can come over straight away. That's not a problem." And she invited me to Vigyan Bhavan, and from there on, my entire entrepreneurial journey started because it was the support which was given to us in respect to the financial aid, in respect to anything. It was because of these guys who actually pushed us and
Yes.
told us that the startup culture is
बेटा
very.
कोई वाईफाई बंद कर दिया,
Yeah.
वाईफाई बंद कर दिया था।
Sorry.
सॉरी सर।
Yeah. So, as far as I believe, the startup culture in India is growing and it's growing vastly. The support from the government has been immense. I've met a few politicians here and there, and they've always been supportive. They've always heard you, and they've always helped you to understand the economics of the country. And the biggest help was Startup India as well. They have an entire idea generation portal through which you can generate, or you can actually find out national level problems and try to solve them for the entire country. That was one step which I really wanted to take to ensure that India is not just a developing country, but a developed nation soon enough.
Oh. So I want to ask that many young founders fear failure. So can you share a failure or a pivot moment and how it taught you?
Of course, you better than anyone would know this one. But yes, failures are part of life. You have to accept them, you have to embrace them, you have to live with them, and you have to learn from them. The only challenge is that you don't have to give up on your failure. So while we were working on Pick and Treat, if you recall, the most important thing was that people should go and collect their orders. Unlike Zomato, Swiggy, Blinkit, the process of delivery in this nation has made so easy accessible that people have stopped considering money as a challenge, but they've started to embrace it. So this was one of the biggest challenges which we faced in Pick and Treat, that delivery is not available. So because of that, the entire model switched onto a delivery platform. As you are well aware today, we've participated with ONDC. We've tied up with ONDC. It's a government protocol. The government is helping us to build and rescale the entire model, which is the most important thing today. So this was one of the biggest challenges which I faced, and not once did we give up. We overcame that challenge and we started working around it.
Okay. Another thing I want to ask is that what were some cultural shocks or work lessons you learned abroad that helped you when you actually came back and built in India?
Quite some, I'm not gonna lie. The amount of freedom, the amount of the culture, what we saw, the culture, at least what I saw over there, working like 4.5, 5 years over there, was very open. People were allowed to speak, but there was a lot of racism over there. So people generally, brown skin, they used to put you down instead of putting you up. That was one of the things which actually made me come back to the country as well, to help the country, to help them grow. The culture shock was primarily about the way they used to work. There was no pressure. In India, most of the people, if I'm reading, like I read an article about a client from Zepto and then Swiggy, people are committing suicide because of work pressure, so much, so much, so much. And ironically, there was no work pressure which was provided to us. We were just given a freedom of doing whatever we want. uh, we just worked on certain set of KPIs, that these KPIs need to be achieved and nothing else. whatever you're doing, that's extra to the work which is required. So if you're progressing, they help you progress way more faster. And I've tried to adapt that same culture over here, in which everyone who I'm working with has that enough freedom that whatever they want to do, they have to do and they can do. But the KPIs need to be met. And the KPIs, as you know, are very minimalistic in this particular session or in this particular reach.
So, what do you think, Tanuj? One question from my side.
Yeah.
That you have studied in abroad and you did some work over there, and you find some good surroundings or environment over there. So, what attracts you to come back to India and do your own business in India itself? Why you think so?
Ma'am, India is the most developing country today. If I read anywhere in the world, in world economics and world news, India is the most developing point for anyone and everyone in the world right now. Most of the countries abroad are coming back over here just because of one particular set of reason, that there is so much development and there is so much population which is helping it grow. We are a developing nation in which 30% of the country is only urban and 70% is still rural. So there's still a lot of market gap which can be filled. That was one of the thought processes for which I came back. And other than that, the point which triggered me was the Italian boss. He told me that you come from a third world country. That just struck me somewhere in my head, and I just wanted to do something for the country. Hence, I started an NGO, and hence all the work started from there on.
Great, that's great.
So you often say that comfort is your biggest enemy. So can you actually give some real life examples where staying uncomfortable led to growth?
I don't really think my example in respect to that is going to be really good, because I'm one of those people who tell myself every night if I go to bed, I tell myself that you could have done better. So that when I wake up again in the morning, I try and tend to do better in respect to what I've done in the previous day. Because as we understand past, present, and future, it works in three tenses. In respect to that, if we understand the same psychology, that was one of the most important things which I learned, that never get comfortable, because once you're comfortable, then you don't want to try and do more things. And one of the biggest teachings I'm going to take from University of Greenwich was in respect to this, that ask as many questions as you can, question yourself, question the person who's asking you questions, so that you can learn more. The more you learn, the more wiser you get day by day.
Anshuman, you can ask a question. Sir, I
Anshuman,
think
kindly mute yourself, unmute yourself, kindly please. Ask a question. You have raised your hand.
sir,
Actually, you may
meanwhile,
continue.
yeah. So meanwhile, can you tell us more about Bro and what inspired it? How do you want it to progress? What are the inspiration?
Well, the inspiration was primarily working with students. We were working on a project called Pick and Treat, and then I met a lot of students, because a lot of students used to approach me for jobs and understanding what their requirements are, if there's internship available or anything. So coming back to the entire discussion, we started thinking about how we can help the student community, because the student community, when we research, is approximately 3 CR students every year. So on an average, we have a lot of students. And the student set is the first set which we need to elevate more and more to ensure that the country is developing. That was the entire idea behind Bro. The first idea was to ensure that they get student discounts. There are a lot of student portals through which at least I used to obtain discounts back in the UK. There was like I used to get free Microsoft Office, I used to get free Notion, and that inspired a lot of other companies to provide student discounts. So when students are elevated, the country starts to elevate by themselves. That was the ideation behind Broke Broke. Every student I spoke to just had one particular ideation. Sir, I can't do this because I'm broke. So we wanted to initiate a concept which related to them. So we called it Broke Bro because not everyone is mandatorily broke, but there is a bro to help them out. So in respect to that, all the goods or all the services which are there, which can be provided or can be used to elevate a country via the students, are being provided via Broke Bro. And today, it's been what 15 days since we've launched that entire thing. It is working tremendously good. We have more than 15,000 visits on our website, and as per our data, it says website visits are the most difficult thing to actually get. So we've got 15,000 in 15 days. That's about 1,000 a day. So in that respect, I think so we're doing something which the students want, and that's why we're getting so much traction in respect to it as well. Anshuman, if you can't mute yourself or unmute yourself, you can just pop up the question over in the chat bot, and I'll be able
Uh,
to answer it.
Sir, what do you think about the recent government initiatives? What's the on-ground reality of it?
You need to ask me in particular about the recent ones because there are quite a lot of things which are going in respect to the government initiatives. So if you can pinpoint a few, I can talk about them. Otherwise, then I think so this call is going to be short enough.
Uh, I think in journal, if we talk about startup and other things and other government initiatives, like the government is promoting trade and all, how it's helpful for the startup and what's the on-ground reality of it?
Well, in respect to startup, I think so the on-ground reality is pretty good. Startup India, if you go on their website, they tell you ideas, they tell you which ministries are respected in respect to those particular ideas. If any one of you is in the legal department or in the legal side, then you would understand this term called pro bono services. It's pretty much relatable to them, but pro bono services are being already provided to a lot of people who are applying for Startup India. It comes under the DPIIT Act, so this helps quite a lot of people to actually register their company, obtain GST numbers and other things as well. So the entire culture and the entire bubble which is being created is very, very helpful. And I'm not going to lie, if anyone has certain kind of ideas, don't hesitate or be reluctant in perspective to it. Just go forward with trying to create an MVP and just pitch it to the requested government or requested ministry. I think so you'll be able to get an answer very, very quickly. So don't give up on your ideas. Just whatever you have, just push it forward. Uh, it's gonna happen. Just don't give up.
Uh, Sir, what would be your advice to students who have ideas but are scared to take the first step?
Don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep working on it. I mean, as you've just said that what I keep on saying again and again, comfort is your biggest enemy. So if you're comfortable enough, then this is going to be one of your biggest challenges which you're going to face. The fear which comes in your mind is that fear which you should not have. If you have an idea and if you have something in respect to it, you should always move ahead and just try and create a prototype or just start working on a business review document, which we call in a startup culture. It's an entire thing in which you write down SWOT analysis, all four P's and pestle. All these things come together to create an entire collaborative project. So the biggest thing is ensuring that you don't give up on those and create an entire MVP and entire project around it before investing any money. Because once you start investing money, at that point of time, you start thinking that we have to do. Once you're just doing research, at that point of time, research is not costing you anything but ensuring and helping you come across to all the problems which you're going to come across in the future. So be prepared for the future instead of just coming up straight and start working.
Okay, my next question is related to it only. If you could give your 21-year-old self a piece of advice, then what would it be?
Um, don't leave the country. I mean, that's one of the things which I would have done. Told 21-year-old myself that don't leave the country. I mean, I understand I have learned a lot, but in the respect of those 6 7 years which I've not been over here, I think so I could have done and helped the country way too much in respect to my ideation and my thought process. Maybe the ideation and thought process has been helped to develop while living abroad. But in respect to the way I think, the way I want to do things, and the way I want to achieve things is on a whole. I want to achieve it for a nation. I don't want to achieve it for myself. So, 21-year-old me, I would have told myself to party a bit more and work a bit more harder.
Well, another question is, how does it feel like to work with students and to, manage a team of students who are very young?
I learn every day. I mean, my father is 70 years of age. He has certain set of experience which he shares with me, which has been prolonging from a set of generation. So I understand from him. I understand from the students which I work with. Then I have a few of my nephews and nieces. From them also I learn, because if you are trying to adapt to a business model, then you need to adapt to the next generation which is coming through, not the older or the previous generations. So I love working with students because every day they make me feel old, and every day I learn something new from them. So that helps me elevate myself to their level again and again, again and again, again and again, and also reminds me that learning is never old. You learn every day, every moment, every single moment of your life. So I respect all the students who work with me because they're quite some. They help me grow and learn and understand the new generation quite a lot so that we can cater to them and simultaneously help them develop into something which they can actually do to help the country.
Okay, so is there like any of your projects? Okay, I think Anshika has a question. She can go first. Anshika, can we have your question? If your mic is not working, then just drop it in the chat box. Okay, well, my question would be that, like, which project do you think is the most inspired one, and how do you expect to make it better? Like, what can we expect next from the projects?
Well, I mean, we're working on a certain set of protocols. Unfortunately, I'm not able to disclose all of them right now, but there are certain things which we keep on bringing every 3 months so that we can elevate the student life and ensure that there's more things. I definitely would like to say about one particular thing that Bro is going to work upon giving student credits. Student credit with respect to that means that we'll be soon coming out with our own loan system for students. Let's say if someone wants some money in respect to education, to buy books, or in respect to anything else, in respect to internships, these are the two things which we are currently really working on. So that they just need to verify themselves as a student, and once they're verified, they can just apply for a loan. There's no interest, no nothing, no EMI as well. They can just repay it whenever they want within their tenure of their studies, and simultaneously it works for the same portal for internships. I think so. Internship portal was one of the biggest hits which we have had. In 4 hours, we had about 4 or 6 people hired. So that actually triggered us because we were doing so many brand partnerships and so many big companies were about to join us that without even having certain big companies, we already had 4 people which got hired. So it was a very big game changer in respect to one segment, which is the most important thing, giving the students um, a protocol through which they can actually learn what a corporate is and how they work, and simultaneously understand how they can actually ensure to get their um, financials across in a better place. I'm going to read this question out loud. Anshika has written a question. It says, "Sir, I've seen many of my friends come up with startups which they abandon in middle. What drives you to keep going? Any special tip of yours?" Um, Remember this one. I think so. This is going to be really helpful. It says, it's a very good quote which I heard somewhere. The magic, what you're looking for, is in the work you're avoiding. So don't give up on the work which you're doing. Just keep doing it. One day it's going to repay. Just take an example of a fruit. When you plant it, when you sow it, it takes some time. Okay, you can't just turn around and just say that I give up. You can never give up on your dreams. You can never abandon them. These terms are not there in my dictionary. I don't abandon things. I don't give up on things. I just keep and try to implement those things into a certain way that if they're not working today, how do I ensure that they will work tomorrow? The problem doesn't a problem is never a problem for me for more than 15 minutes, because for 15 minutes I think about it, I think about three solutions, and then I start working on those solutions. So there's no problem. There's just three solutions to it. So just keep working on this mantra. I think so this is going to really, really help you. I think so. Komal has a question. Komal, if you can just type down your question, that's going to be much more easier for us.
Sir, as an entrepreneur, there is a thin line between ethics and law. Do you think that in order to run a startup, you have to be unethical at time? If yes, can you share an instance?
Don't, don't be unethical ever. Take the long route. Just there's always some gray space which you can work around, but don't be unethical. I mean, we've lived in a country for the longest period of time that the unethical means were the most prior means to get your work done. But I think so today the country is changing. Today the country is growing so vastly, so much that play around the gray area. I'm not going to deny. Play around the gray area, but don't do anything which is unethical. I mean, doing anything unethical is just taking a step back rather than taking a step forward. So when you take a step back, you will actually taking two steps before, because it's going to take you two steps to actually move forward from there. So work around the gray area if you find anything like that in respect to it, but don't do anything unethical. I'm sorry, I've not done anything unethical till now.
Is there anything in particular which you would like to suggest to college students and like in order to help them grow as entrepreneurs or in their careers?
Of course. I think so. I've given a few speeches in different colleges in the recent past. So there's one particular thing which I'm going to tell you guys. There's a portal. You can just search it by the name of Idea Bank Startup India. There are about 17 different major nationalist problems over there, and listed by each and every ministry, which are working towards solving those problems. So as a young mind, I would want you guys to think about these things so that you can ensure that you find the right solution to ensure that whatever is a national problem doesn't stay as a national problem anymore, and we can resolve it within your particular generation. I mean, I believe your particular generation is going to be Gen Z. The generations which are coming through, like Gen A, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta. I really understand those. But in respect to that, I would say go on this particular portal. It's called Idea Bank Startup India. Look for the problems, try and create a solution around it. They've already written what exactly you have to do to achieve that. All you need to do is just attend a couple of ideathons and hackathons and try to put both of them together, an idea and hackathon, two people together, and you have a final product, and then we work throughout. I'm going to read out a question. This is Mr. Mohit Luthra. I have a general question. When we talk about the Indian economy as per capita income, most of the people blame our population for it. How do you see India's population for economic growth as a curve? I'm sorry, I was on mute. I just read a question. Mr. Mohit Luthra has asked a particular question over here. It says, I have a general question. When we talk about the Indian economy and per capita income, most of the people blame our population for it. How do you see India's population for economic growth as a curse or as a blessing? I mean, the question is in itself is a very big answer. We have a population of 1.4 billion, which is going towards 1.5 billion. I think so. That's one of the biggest population across the globe for a particular set of country. I just wonder if you see our population as a curse because I see it as a blessing. We have we have everything, and the amount of demand and the amount of requirement is whatever is coming through is because of this particular reason. So it's definitely a very, very major blessing to have such a vast population because if you have even the smallest of ideas and the smallest of ideas which you're catering is to a very vast population. So growing those ideas, I don't think is going to be a very big difficult task, Mr. Moore. Okay, Mr. Vivek Kuchal has a question. I think it's a very interesting one. How many times have you visited DSPSR after you passed out, other than collecting mark sheets, etc.? Okay, Vivek, I'm not gonna lie. Between my graduation from 2015 to 2018, I was working on a hydroponic plant project. During that time, I visited my college quite often. But after that, I left for the United Kingdom, and since then, I've returned. It's been completed an year and a month after that. And till date, I haven't visited the college. But if you're visiting the college any particular day, I would love to meet you. So just let me know. I'm going to put it in my calendar and I'm going to come see you as well. And I think so. I have a lot of other people who need to see me. I mean, few of them are already on the call. So definitely, I'm gonna be there visiting soon. Just let me know your particular time. When you're there, I'll definitely see you. How do I motivate my team? I think so. The never give up attitude, ma'am. I think so. That's the most important thing which I have. I don't give up on anything. I don't give up on my dreams. I don't give up on my ideas. I don't give up on anyone else's idea, to be honest. I mean, I try to curate it in that particular way that if someone is giving me an ideation, I just try to tell them the flaws in it and I tell them to do a SWOT analysis about it to try and understand what is the problem. And the biggest thing what I do is a 1-3-1. So most of the people they don't really come to me because they know that I will just motivate them. In respect to it, what I do is that if they have a problem, which is number one, they find three solutions to it. Whichever they deem is the most accurate one for it, they go forward with that. Because the other two, if they don't think that it's approachable or it's doable, then the other one is the perfect one. So I keep motivating them with a lot of speeches, with a lot of talks. We have talks going on in and around the entire office here and there, all the time. We listen to ideas, we discuss them. Um, we tease people as well to ensure that they're doing the wrong thing or doing the right thing as well. But that's just for their purpose, nothing as such. So yeah, I think so. We give a lot of motivational speeches to ensure that they know where they're going wrong, and simultaneously the timelines which they have to work on. So that keeps them a bit motivated that we have to ensure that we finish this by that time because the other team has already done that. So the entire organization is structured around competitions. So when you're competing with someone, you're already highly motivated in respect to it. How it feels to be a social entrepreneur in a country like India. Oh, I'm not a social entrepreneur at the moment. I would love to be, I would love to have a voice one particular day. But yeah, I mean, it's it's a big challenge because currently we are in a country in which we have 191 billionaires and 108 of them are particularly from Gujarat side. So, considering me in respect to any social entrepreneur, I'm not a social entrepreneur. I'm more like a doer and a giver. And that's when we started the entire NGO as well, which was called Care India International Society. We want to do is we want to ensure that we feed people. That's the first project which we are working on. The second project is what we're working on is teaching people CPR. CPR is a form through which you can ensure that if anyone is getting a heart attack, they don't, you know what you have to do in respect to save their life. So these are the two things which we are currently working on, and I don't consider myself as a social entrepreneur at all. I am doing this for my country because I believe in my country. Biggest learning experience in running a business: don't give up. Listen to every segment of people who are working for you, with you, by you, be it students, be it interns, be it real corporate people. Try and understand what they're saying and try and adapt it to their business, or try and adapt it to your business, because I think so that's going to be really helpful. There's a mantra which I try and utilize every time here and there. I speak to a lot of people. Mr. Deepak Vora is one of them. I speak to him quite often to try and understand what is going on in respect to the politics side as well. But the biggest learning what he gave to me was just listen to the good, don't listen to the bad, because the bad is already what people are saying or what they want you to feel. Don't feel it, just listen to the good, adapt to the good things what others are doing, and try and bring it to your daily life or into your organization, so that your organizations starts to get more structured and it works on a better pace, and people don't leave you, because the biggest thing in our country is that they want to grow, they want to evolve, and they want to adapt. Once they've reached to that particular segment, they start to leave you. And fortunately, unfortunately, there's not a single person who's joined our organization has left us till date.
Does anyone else have any other questions?
I have a question. I am A.K. Srivastava. Am I audible?
Yeah.
You're audible.
I am. Now the thing is, as you are aware, that the government has some time back introduced the concept of CSR, that is corporate social responsibility, where, as per my understanding, 2% of the profit is to be used for social upliftment through CSR, that is corporate social responsibility. Do you get any kind of financial support under CSR from the corporate world?
So till date, we haven't got any financial support. I mean, the 2% thing which you're talking about, I'll just recorrect the facts because I know quite a lot in respect to it. So that 2% works on any company which is doing 100 CR in GDP or in respect to their entire sales. If you're doing 100 crores, then at that respective time, they're mandated to put 2% of their net profit into CSR things. But as of now, we've not received anything in respect to CSR. We don't believe our project is based on CSR. It is for the students, by the students, and our NGO has been receiving. We've been working with different FMCG brands through which they've been providing us with, let's say, anything which is close to shelf life product. They send it over to us to our NGO. We just wear the hands to give it out. So in respect to that particular segment, I think so that's the only thing, the kind of CSR what we've received. But other than that, we have not received any kind of CSR till now. We've been self-funded and funded by the government.
Sir, another question that, as you are aware, that US under the leadership of Mr. Donald Trump has launched the tariff war. And recently, I think 1 or 2 days before, in the newspaper, it appeared that on steel exports from India, tariff of 50% has been imposed. So our this steel industry in India will be under tremendous pressure.
Okay. What's the question over here? I just still want to.
The question is that is this tariff war in any cases going to impact the work of or the operations of the companies like you, sir, organization like you, sir?
Sir, what I believe in, that if we start reading the Financial Times, we would start to understand that UK and the US are two countries which are sooner or later going to start feeling the recession boredom or the recession culture. That's just because of that one particular reason, because the amount of debt which the country has created. Today, if you talk about United States of America, it has more than $3 trillion worth of credit card debt. So all they're trying to do is they're just trying to ensure that their debt gets cleared out while supporting or not supporting the other countries. So in respect to the tariff culture, whatever they're doing today is nothing in respect which is going to harm our GDP. If we are an exporter, I think so in respect to that, it's going to really hurt, because if they've stopped the export in respect to tariffs, then that's going to hurt. But in respect to the amount of imports what we're doing, I think so we're just hurting them. So in respect to it, I think so India is a very stable nation and a very big economy in itself to self-sufficiently support itself. So whatever US is doing or whatever the UK is doing, I don't really think it's going to affect us too much in that respect. But if you're an exporter or an importer, then I think so Financial Times or Economics Times and grabbing some knowledge in respect to the steel industry, because you've been talking about that right now, I think so would be one of the most important things to understand how they are actually importing or exporting that particular good.
So we have two questions in chat box. One is, do you think as an entrepreneur you need to abandon your social life?
Um, don't take me as an example. I'm one of a kind, unfortunately. So yeah, I have just I've tried to abandon my social life as much as possible, because I used to feel that every single person who I used to meet, they're very content with their life. If you're content with your life, and I used to read a book. It was called Ikigai. It means finding the purpose of your life. I was trying to find the purpose of my life. When I found my purpose, every person who I met, they were so content, so content. I mean, my entire friend circle and everything was around us, entrepreneurs or people who were working in certain elements at really high posts. They were so content in their life that they just didn't have any aspirations or dreams at a point of time. So I abandoned my social life to understand what I want in life. But not everyone needs to do that, because um, the social life is also very important, I would say, to have fun, to realize what other people are thinking, to elevate yourself from them. I think so. A social life is very much important. But as considering myself as a case, I abandoned it for the past 6 months. I haven't been very social. All I think and dream and do is for the country, by the country.
So the other question is, how important is personal branding for young entrepreneurs today?
I mean, most of the brands or most of the entrepreneurs are trying to create a brand around themselves. It's very common. You pick up any big brand, or let's talk about Nikhil Kamath over here. Let's talk about Zerola, Nitin and Nikhil Kamath. Let's talk about that. Both the brothers have done an exceptional job coming out from nowhere. They've done an exceptional job in creating themselves as a brand. Okay, when you're trying to create yourself as a brand, then I think so it's very much important. But when you're trying to become an entrepreneur, I think so what really matters is your numbers, how you crunch your numbers, how you make your sales, because at the end of the day, that really counts. So in respect to creating a brand around yourself as a person, so that you can ensure that the next ventures of yours can become successful. I think so that's very important. But if you have faith in one particular idea and one particular thing what you're doing, I don't really think that personal branding is that important.
Does anyone else has any other questions? I think we have covered almost every doubt anybody had.
That's awesome. I'm glad that I've answered all the questions. I think so. I made sense to most of the things. If I have not, and if I have just offended anyone, then I'm really sorry about that. But in respect to anything, I think so. I'm going to put my number in the Sorry, can't hear. This one's a really funny question. I'm definitely gonna read this one. Do you think being in a relationship affects the hunger an entrepreneur must have? Uh, I'm not in a relationship right now. For the longest period of time, I've not been in one. I think so. That's one of the reasons why I've been able to concentrate quite a lot on my work. But Mr. Mohit, I think so. You need to figure out what you want from life. I think so. There's a personal life and a work-life balance. You need to understand this particular concept to actually understand this thing. Fortunately, I'm not in a relationship, so I don't really have to judge on this thing, and I don't talk about personal relationships into this. If you have anything in respect to work, I think so I may be able to answer, but I'm not the right person to answer this particular question. Okay, so I think so we've covered up most of the things. What I'm going to do over here is I'm very much available to answer anything most of the time. I'm one of the most reachable person in respect to a lot of colleges. Students know me. What I'm going to do over here is I'm going to put my number in the chat bot and I'm going to pin it. So if I've missed out on any questions anyone has, they're more than welcome to just give me a shout. I'm always available on a call and I will be more than willing to answer anything and everything. That's my number. I'm not on too much social media, so you can, if you want to connect with me, I think so LinkedIn is going to be the best place to connect with me.
Madam Ishita, kindly take over the session and please extend the vote of thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. It is my absolute pleasure and honor to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to our distinguished alumnus, Mr. Tanuj Varshney from the BBA batch of 2012 to 15. Your presence here today and the time you have so shared with us means a great deal. Your words were not just insightful and impactful, they were truly also inspiring. The way you reflected on your journey, the challenge you embraced, and the values you upheld have deeply resonated with all of us, especially our current students who look forward to following in your footsteps. Your guidance and encouragement have undoubtedly light a spark in the minds of our budding professionals. It is alumni like you who strengthen the bridge between past and present, reminding us all of the enduring spirit and pride of our institution. On behalf of the entire DSPSR family and the students' body and the faculty itself, I sincerely thank you for your priceless time, your efforts, and your motivating presence today. We hope this is just the beginning of many such engagement in the future. Thank you once again, Mr. Varshney. I would also like to take a moment to extend my sincere thanks to our dynamic moderator, Ms. Prachikar, for conducting the session with such remarkable. The way you managed and the flow of conversation, especially through your thoughtfully framed and impactful questions to our alumni speaker, truly elevated the entire session. Your engaging style and sharp insights not only kept the momentum alive, but also awakened the curiosity and interest of all the participants throughout. Thank you all the participants to being this session and for listening this session carefully. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. If you have any questions, my number over here. So please give me a shout. I'm always available. If I'm not answering the calls, then you can drop a text and I'll be available to you. Thank you so much, guys.